Hi, I'm James Schillinglaw for Insider Travel Report. I'm here at the Brunel Academy here in Chicago. It's the first meeting I've done with Brunel, which is their kind of annual meeting, and it's where they train and also they all get together. And I'm here with Troy Hayes, who is the CEO of Brunel. And we're going to talk to him about the current state of Brunel and what's going on and a whole lot more on Insider Travel Report. Troy, first of all, it's great to be. Thank you for inviting me to this wonderful meeting.
Thanks for coming.
Yeah, well, it's great. We've been going to meetings together for a while at Virtuoso.
Yep.
Yeah. So let's talk about where is Brunel today? How many advisors? You are now all independent contractors, right?
Correct. So we have 140, I think, currently independent advisors.
Right.
I consider we are all advisors. We're all one community. We like to say it's just you get your paycheck a little bit differently, but we're all in. It is what's really exciting about the approach, and certainly moving into the independent contractor model. One of the things we didn't want to do is make this a transactional and a commercial type of model. What has made Brunel strong for 138 years is community and trust and relationships, and that doesn't change no matter how you get paid. So as you see when you come to Academy, our advisors support each other. I watch them dive in to help each other solve problems and sometimes think, you guys are all like 1099, you're like independent, right? But that's not how we operate. Right. Care, support, because 1 + 1 makes 5 when you work that way.
Well, and you do reiterate that Brunel is really the oldest travel agency in the business. I still have to double check myself when I hear about that. And now, when did you first you joined Brunel, and then eventually you bought it out? Right?
Yeah. So back in the early 80s, I worked at Bain & Company as a consultant, and we helped Dun & Bradstreet bought Thomas Cook USA's division. And that was my first experience in the travel industry, as we helped integrate what then was printed tickets distributed around the country in a leisure shop. And what I saw back then was a transactional business that was not great pay and not well respected. Yet buried in that transactional big business, there were people who wanted good experiences and service. Mm-hmm. And you had some agents who really were advisors. They were high level. And so at the time I thought, can we carve that out? Find an opportunity to put that together and create a professional travel advisor community. So in '93, I had an opportunity to buy into Brunel. And so since then, I had financial partners in the business, and we've, over 32 years, bought those partners out, as well as my partners in the business, Meg North and Martha Gaughan, who've been fabulous models for what a great advisor does. And so that's been the journey that we have been on. But what we've always been focused on was that there's an opportunity to create a rewarding professional career as travel advisor. And 30 years ago, the travel agent was not that.
Well, you also were one of the first agencies to be part of Virtuoso, which was called API Travel back then, and now became Virtuoso in 2000, right?
And even before that, the Brunels were part of Allied.
Allied Percival,
back in the day. So
and we were talking about this earlier, that you had met Matthew and started talking about the opportunities for travel advisors to actually make serious income, and that's really what you've been focusing on, right?
Right. So when you looked at the business, the pay was very low. It was transaction oriented. There were no service fees, and so we set out to break that low productivity and a low pay cycle, and that took having a higher level of advisor, more professional, charging service fees so that we sort out the clients that valued what we did from the clients that did not, and all of that. And then we focused on the experiences that clients want. We weren't doing, we got out of corporate travel, and we put all our chips on the experiential side of the business.
Yeah, absolutely. Now today, travel advisors are a lucrative profession, right? How did that happen?
It's exciting. It is red hot, so it wasn't that long ago I'd go to a cocktail party and people thought we were going to travel agency was going out of business.
We're going to be defeated by online and direct.
Yeah, and now everybody goes to a party and says, "I want to be one," And,
And you say, where do you sign up? And you give you a training.
Well, and which is exciting because there's a strong interest in this business. But we've been through these cycles before where if we lower the barrier to coming in the industry, we may damage the professionalism. And so I think it's really important, if we're going to be advisors, we're going to be in an important professional community like Virtuoso, that we have the training and the experience and the systems and support so we can deliver at that professional level. Got a lot of folks diving in on this thing who are not necessarily going through the training that is really necessary. Brownell will always be in a different place where we're going to select carefully who joins our community. We're going to train them so that they can perform at the very highest levels, but also be gracious and strong professional people to work with.
And absolutely give them the tools in terms of the systems and the technology as well, right?
Yes, absolutely. If you look at the suite of services that we offer at Brownell, advisors want to sell travel and they want to deal with their clients. They want to plan travel. So they need the ability to have someone take care of administrative work, detail work, airline work, insurance work, marketing work. All of that are things that aren't necessarily generally the gifts of a great advisor. So Brownell's created a strong suite of support services that help advisors be at their very best and enjoy their work.
That's fantastic, and you've obviously succeeded given the popularity of how you're getting new people coming into the business. You're getting people who want to come here and have the services that you offer. Also, you've also raised the profile of Brownell. I know a few months ago you actually joined the World Travel and Tourism Council, right?
So WTTC is one I attended years ago as a guest of Matthew, and I was so impressed with. Here's an organization that helps the economies of the world understand the very high importance of travel. It is almost 10% of the world's GDP. Mm-hmm. Jobs are dependent on it, but it also directly impacts the economies and the communities that it touches. WTTC is helping to pull that message together in a way. As we elevate travel, we also elevate the impact in a positive way of the economies that we enter and part of travel so that we preserve those destinations for the future.
Absolutely. And I'll close with something we were just talking about. It's not a bad business because his daughter, Margaret, is actually part of the Brownell team, right?
Yes. Very exciting. So, a dream years ago was that we would make this attractive enough that our children will want to come in. And we see that across the industry, and I'm thankful we get to see it here at Brownell, that Margaret is joining us, as well as a bright, talented group of millennials and Gen Xers underneath me that I'm raising up as fast as I can.
Well, also, I walked around here, and there seem to be the ICs you have are a little bit on the younger set, and I do remember a time when you walked around and you saw amazing travel advisors, and yet they were getting a little older. They weren't being replaced by a next generation, and today that's really changed.
Today, our largest client base are millennial. The most trips we do are millennials. The most money we make the older group, but it was very intentional for a number of years that we would recruit. We saw what you saw, and we said we need to get a younger demographic in here because that's who a younger generation is going to want to work with, and they'll understand them better and they'll want to work with them. So yes, we've recruited them intentionally and paired them with the senior advisors who have great experience and want to share it with these advisors who are coming up. It's a great combination.
Well, not bad for an agency that's
138 years.
138 years young. I guess that was it.
Yep.
And I've known this for a while, but now here I am with Troy, and it's just an amazing statistic. Even though you've done a lot to change the business since you came into the business, and so it's amazing to see that it really now we're kind of a great period where travel agencies and travel advisors are in ascendancy, and it's great that we're here. We're still here.
Yeah, it's an exciting time to be doing what we do. We see a really bright future for the approach of professionalism, of training and engagement, and using the best tools to help our advisors create that human touch with their clients.
Fantastic. Well, Troy, thank you again for inviting me.
Thanks.
So I'm going to be enjoying it the next couple of days to see you, and we'll see you. I'm sure we'll see you at different meetings in the next year.
Yes,
I know at least 2 will probably be at. But
Thank you all
that's
for
it.
being here.
I'm James Schillinglaw, and this is Insider Travel Report.